Now that we've learned how to trigger corrective actions and automate email reminders, how do we know if this has impacted performance? Furthermore, how do we know if one location or division is doing better than the other? We turn to the data. Today, we'll be learning how to add quantitative data to inspections for performance score calculations. Let's get started by accessing our inspections workstream. Go to your stream's management area, click on your stream, and open up that last version that we were working on. You should now be at your stream definition canvas. On the right side of the screen, under your components, you'll see your inspection data component. Hover your mouse pointer over that to reveal the edit feature. Click on the edit button and go to your fields. Select one of the questions that the inspector would have to answer while visually observing the area. Now, on the screen, make note of the fact that the Pulpstream engine recognizes this checklist question with the name CH1. In the label, which is the answer to the question in the checklist, yes has a value of 1, while no has a value of 0. If one of the questions that your inspector had to answer was more important than the others, you would change the value assigned to each question here. You could give it any numerical score to suit your business needs. Now in our inspection, we had 11 questions that our inspector would have to answer out there in the field. Each one was given a value of 1 or 0, which would make the maximum total score for this inspection 11. And as you recall, there were 2 sections in our inspection, preparedness and PPE. So we were going to calculate each one separately and then calculate the total final score. So X out of that and go back to your stream definition canvas. Hover your mouse over the data component's title to reveal the new function and click on New. We're going to add a new data component to store our scores. And while on the General tab, name your new data component. Now click on the Fields tab. Add 4 fields with the attributes that you see on your screen. Pause the video while you do this. When you're done adding those 4 fields, your new data component should look like this. Now click on the blue button to save your changes. Your workstream definition canvas should now have 2 data components on the right side of your screen. Now we want that scoring step in our stream, so we need to make some room for it. Highlight these steps, move them out of the way, delete between the start process forms and the send report form. Make a little bit more room here, line it all up to appease the OCD. And in your navigation menu, in your smart steps, look for the Update Fields step. Drag it onto your form. And we're going to use this Update Field step to start calculating our scores. In the pop-up menu, give it a title. Let's call it Calculate Score. So we're going to use 4 fields to calculate our scores. Let's calculate our preparedness score first by finding that data component in the pull-down menu. The map type is going to be an expression, and this is our expression field. We're going to use this field to make an expression that sums up the values that we assign to the questions in our checklist. And what we want to do is use that magnifying glass icon to search for the questions and find the merged field values, which we are going to copy and paste into here and use these to start to create an expression. And when you are done, you're going to have a very basic expression that sums up all of these. So I'm going to pause here because you are going to do all of these expression buildings on your own. But I do want to show you that for this section, we're going to do PPE scores. This one we're going to do total score. And this one we're going to do a percentage score. Now, when you're done, your update data field step is going to look like this. Here are the preparedness and PPE requirements questions for your reference. Now save your changes. And on your stream definition canvas, we want to connect this to the other steps in our stream. Now, save your changes to the workstream. Now that we've created a step to calculate scores, we need to update the report template to include those scores. You'll find that template in the document section of your workstream definition canvas. On the right side of the page, under Documents, you'll hover your mouse cursor over the inspection report to reveal the edit function. Open that up and download the inspection report template that's in the system. As you can see, it's basically a Word document. So let's talk about the structure of this template to familiarize ourselves with it. Whenever you want a report to include new data points, you need to tell the Pulpstream engine which data component that information is stored in. And we do that with tags. So every section in the template has a simple structure. You're going to have an opening tag for your data component. You're going to have field names within your data component. And you're going to have a closing tag for your data component. Each one has a double arrow on the left and a double arrow on the right. Those tell the Pulpstream engine that this piece of information is a tag. And as you'll notice, the opening tags start with double arrow RS, while the closing tags start with double arrow ES. The RS tells the system to restart the section, and the ES tells the system to end the section. Essentially, if you wanted to abstract it, a basic section in your template is going to look like that. Right? RS fill 1, fill 2, ES. Now we want to add our inspection scores, both total and percentage, below these GPS coordinates here in the report. So let's add the appropriate tags to make that happen. Right, so we'll add RS inspection above the submission line. Your template probably doesn't have that one quite yet, so go ahead and add it. And we're also going to add our score tags to the report template in between the submission and the GPS section. So an important note here, make sure that your tag names match the name of the data component that we made earlier. So these are the fields that we want in our report. And as you're looking for these, watch out for pluralization errors, such as score versus scores. And remember to add tags to close or restart your section. And when you're done, your final template should look like this. So let's test it out to make sure it works. Go back to your stream definition canvas, click on your records, and click on the gear icon on the right-hand side to restart your record. It's going to change from completed to in process. And after we get that process restarted successfully, that is the OK Go message. Now click on the stream definition tab. And in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see another gear. Select Test Document Print Template. So click on a record, and then choose the template that we just made. Make sure that it's in doc format. If you're on a Mac and you're using Pages, you're going to need to export that to doc format for it to work. So click on the Generate button, and your browser will start to download a PDF. And this is essentially what the final version of this report would look like if we had printed it out to either PDF or on an old school printer. So this tells us that it works. We put in all of our tags correctly. We're going to go ahead and X that out because we don't need to be in the test area anymore. And if your template didn't work for some reason, here's a list of things that could have gone wrong. The tag names in the template don't match the one in your data component. So if you're curious about that, go back into your data component, go into the fields, and double check the name here in each of the fields to make sure that there aren't any extra spaces or you didn't accidentally put plural version of the word score here, like percentage scores or something like that. Another thing that could have gone wrong is the opening and closing tags in the template weren't in the right places. It's a pretty common mistake, so don't feel bad about it. And the third thing that could have gone wrong, and this one would be very obvious, the bookmarks, all questions or signature were accidentally deleted. And you'll know that that's the case if all of the things in your template that were there before are gone. All of the checklist questions and answers are gone. So if that's the case, pause the video and do a little bit of debugging, because the next step is we're going to upload our template into the Pulpstream engine so that we can use it later. So we're going to be here on our stream definition canvas. On the right side of the screen, we're going to hover our mouse cursor over the inspection report. I'm going to edit it. We're going to X out the old template that we had there. And we are going to upload our latest and greatest version of our report template. We're going to save our changes. And we are going to lock that stream version. Make a couple of comments so that way if anybody looks at the logs, they know what we did. Now lock it. And that's it. You can go ahead and test out your workstream by taking a walk in your teammate's shoes. Go back to that home page and click on the Submit New Form button to go through the workstream.